And good afternoon, everybody. And yet again, it was an absolute rush in order to get ready on time today. This morning has just been absolute non-stop. All the things that you think are going to take half an hour and a half later, you're still fighting them. And that's why today, rather than wearing the nice little microphone around my ear, I've got this wonderful desk microphone. It's one that I use all day when I'm working, and I hope that the sound quality is good enough. So if the sound is really poor, let me know and I'll plug the other microphone in quickly. Otherwise, I guess we just have to see how we get on with this thing. And how was your week? I hope that, well, I hope you had a less painful week than me this week. It's on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday lunchtime. I was enjoying the beautiful weather we had back then, way better than the weather we have today here, and I managed to wipe out completely on my rollerblades. I went from beautiful sunshine, imagining I'm skating down Venice Beach, going swish, 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 to kind of looking a little bit clownish and then rolling for 5 meters on the floor, and kind of ended up with a wonderful bruise on the elbow there to let me know that I'm not 20 anymore. Anyway, with that said, let's get on with the building. I only have a stream for an hour today because again, this morning was rushed. This afternoon is just as rushed. But I'm hoping that maybe we can get through bag 6, maybe get through bag 7, and get the Porsche to the point where on the next stream, we can start on the Targa build and actually do what I asked on the poll for what do people want to see built. On that note, let's see whether or not the tech's working any better than it worked last week. Yay, look at that. We can almost see a table, but that looks a little bit upside down to me. Let me see what we can do about that. I have the idea that every time I start OBS, it resets my webcam, because I'm fairly sure that I transform it to flip vertical every week, and every week it puts it right back again. Okay, so let's get rid of bag 7 for now. We'll see whether or not we have time for bag 7. Let's put the Porsche to one side and let's get started on the sorting. Let's see what we've got in store for today. So looking at the book, can we all see the book? Yeah, there we go. We can see the book. Get rid of the plastic. So today we're going to be building the doors and the windscreen, and I guess just finishing off the front end just a little bit. So let's see how many different little pieces we can get here. Can we sort it without anything going ting across the floor? That's always the other fun one, of course. There we go. So let's see how well we can sort here. And with Martin last week, I was chatting with Martin over the week about doing a joint stream, as we spoke about on the stream last week. We're going to try and get that organized. Martin's going to build the turbo whilst I build the Targa, and we're going to kind of try and switch backwards and forwards between the views so that we can do 2 builds at the same time. See how that works out. And he was also showing me the rig that he's got so that he can actually film what's going on the table. And I have an idea that next payday, I'm going to be investing in something similar, because whilst hanging the camera from the monitor, it kind of works. I'm guessing a proper rig where I can actually just look straight down onto what I'm trying to build is going to be just that little bit better. So we have more of these brick walls here. So we've got more of Jeff Fritz's seats in his cars. Can we see that? I'm holding it up to the wrong camera. And then I'm guessing somewhere in here we should have lots of hinges, because obviously we're going to be doing 2 doors today. So see what we can build up, shall we? And we have some more snot pieces here. So I'm guessing we're going to be building out sideways again. I'd just like to say, by the way, the snot pieces, that is not a Stacyism. The snot pieces is the studs not on top, so you can build sideways as well as upwards. We have some upside down slanting bits here. So I'm guessing that's going to be for the A pillars or the B pillars as we get the car put together. And we have Martin. Hello, Martin. And Martin's busy on bag 2. You've got a lot of catching up to do then if we're going to be doing a build together where we're putting everything up at the same time. I hope you have as much fun doing the rest of your bags as I've had so far doing this one. We have a huge amount of 2x4 planks for this one. A big pile there. We have some more rounded pieces for the edges, some steps. We've got a lot of different types of pieces here this week. And I have the idea that because my camera is not quite in the same position it was in last week, I'm going to run out of space really quickly. I wonder if I'm going to get to drink my tea as well, or whether or not you're just going to spend the next hour watching a cup of tea going cold. And if I allow a cup of tea to go cold, do I have to hand back my British passport? We've got little triangle bits here. I don't know where they're going to go on, but they look quite cool. Also in that same tan leather color that the seats were built in. An amount of 1x4 planks that we're going to be building on stuff, both shiny and with studs. It's quite a lot of sorting to do here, actually. It's when I looked at it all inside the bag, I thought, wow, this bag's not actually that big. Now I'm looking at it and thinking, wow, are we really going to have time for 2 bags? Or is it just going to be the one and I'm going to have to figure out what to do for the second one later? So 2x1 bricks. Yeah, more snot. Do we have a second one? I bet there's another one hiding somewhere. One of these things. It's an upright, but if you look at it wrong on the table, it can get really confusing. Yeah, another plank. You know that pile of planks is going to fall over before long. That's going to cause me problems when I start building. And yet, I don't take it down now because I really want some space to actually do some building. We have some more upside down pieces. I love these upside down slanted pieces. See, normally these things go up that way, but when it's upside down, it has to go onto one and then it gets held in more by the top. We have 2 of those. I'm guessing 1 for each side. And we have some black ones as well. Come on. And apparently I've just completely lost use of my hands today because I can't get anything to stand up properly. Yeah, more snot. This is quite a snotty bag. There's a lot of snot in here. And yeah, I do kind of just like saying snot. And bits going pinging across the room. On the bright side, I'm not constrained by my normal mic cable. So if something does go pinging across the room, I can probably move to get it a little bit easier than normal. And we have more shoes. I don't think we've had a bag yet which didn't have a shoe in it. There's a lot of shoes in a Porsche. We have the more rounded bits. I'm guessing these bits are going to go across the top of the door. They've gone across the top of the car so far. So we're going to have some more of those. Eek, I really am running out of space here. We have some more hinges. And I know where they're going to go. If we have a look on the car, when we put the steering wheel in, we put kind of half hinges in the front here. And these hinges that we've just taken out of the bag, they're going to clip into that. And that's right where the windscreen goes. So I'm going to hazard a guess. I don't know, but I'm going to hazard a guess that we're going to mount the windscreen on that, and that's going to allow us to tip it backwards. More shoes. Wow, lots of shoes. It's got more shoes than I've got downstairs. I'm still kicking stuff across the table. You know what? In my first stream, I said that I found the sorting really therapeutic. I'm going to say I need to do it because if I don't sort, I'm never going to be able to build on camera because I am no good at searching for stuff. But sorting on stream is so nerve-wracking for some reason. I really don't know why. It's kind of like, OMG, everybody's watching me completely throw bits of Lego over the place. And because I'm trying to rush, I'm nowhere near as neat as I normally am. If you have a look on Twitter at some of my Saturn V builds, you'll see that sometimes when I'm really relaxing, I can spend an age lining all of the bricks up on the table. And here it's kind of, quick, we better get it done before people get bored. So if this takes too long, I apologize. And if it's not neat enough, I apologize as well. If it helps, it's not neat enough for me either. We have some gutter pieces. I love these ones on the modular buildings. When you add these on the modular buildings, it's always for window sills or the tops of roofs, or occasionally just to hold a mirror in place. So you slide the mirror into the groove on the inside. Wonderfully versatile pieces. More rounded bits for the tops of the doors. Yeah, we have 8, 4 per door. That seems about right. Some hooks. Some brown shoes, because, you know, we need different color shoes. If all your shoes are one color, that's a bit boring. You can't match all the dresses if you've only got one color. We have some white triangle pieces. Yeah, more shoes, which I'm going to have to hold in a different place because I'm out of space in the first set. That's going to be fun. You know I'm going to forget that one later. Some nuggets. And we're almost done with the sorting now. Some red spaces, which I'm going to live on the edge. I'm going to put the red spaces down here where I know I'm going to knock them across the room in a second. When I do, feel free to yell, "Told you so." I promise to laugh. And here we go. 3 corner pieces. I hope that's enough corner pieces. When you're building something which is generally symmetrical, it's always worrying when you only have 3 of something. And here we have dials. So I'm guessing that's going to be the dashboard then. We have this triangle piece with a printed dashboard on it, with a rev counter and speedometer. And then we have 3 just with generic dials on here. I don't know if you can see that or not. And there's all of our pieces. Right, let's get building then. So step 220. I nearly missed this one. I thought that this was the first step. I totally nearly missed this place. And we need 2 of our black 1x2s. And we need 2 of our flat 1x2 whites here. And that starts from the outside of the car and works its way in. And then we do the same on the other side. The white one on the outside. black one on the middle. Now we can move on to 221. I've managed to do it. I've not missed the first step. Yay! I've not gone wrong yet. There's still plenty of time for that though. So we're going to put these two bits together. And then these, like I was saying, drop into these hinges here, one on each side. Like I say, I have an idea that we're going to build the windscreen up here, and then we're just going to tip these backwards, just to give the windscreen the rake that it should have. And now we get to build a door. We're building the driver's door first by the looks of it. So we start with another one of these wonderful single steps. Step 1, put your hinge down. And then we start building up one side. And then we start building up the second side. And then we take the first of our 2x4 white planks and start to build outwards. Put our big long white full-size plank in place. And then take the first of our kind of rounded, or end of a rounded square, I guess. And add this, like so. So on the inside we see the hole in place, and on the outside it's just flat. And then we start to build up the inside, do we? So here we need one of our upright snot bits. We need an end cap, and we need 2 brick walls. I'm guessing that then is going to be the door card on the inside of the Porsche. So we start with the upright, and then I annoy you all by getting this absolutely perfect and spending too long. There we go. Build up the door card on the inside. Can you see that, or have I taken that off screen? No, it's fine. See, it's the other problem with where I have the camera hanging right now, because it's hanging on the screen. It's right over the middle of my live view of the camera. That's better. Moved it now to the bottom of my screen so I can actually see it a little bit better. I'm going to take a photo of this setup when I'm finished, just so that you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to put that one onto Twitter. Right, step 229, building up the rest of this wall. We need a 2x4 full height brick, a 1x3 full height brick, and a 1x2 full height brick. And we start by building the gap up, and then building along the outside, along here. And that should take us all the way to the end of the door. And now we need a 1x4 plank and another 1x2, and we start to build up this 2x4 plank and give it a little bit extra. And we need to do that because it's about to get weird. We need this half shiny plank, and then we put the snot in place so that we're going to build off of the front in a second. Then we need our white corner, another 1x4 plank. Oh, and these are going to be the door handles for the outside of the car. That's so cool. So we start this up by building up the inside, like so. Why does this look wrong? What have I missed? I have missed something here. I have missed step 230. For some reason, I went straight from step 229 to step 231. So let's go back to step 230 and do that one now. We need The bit that slopes upwards, we need another 1x3 and another 1x2. Let's get these in place then. Read the instructions, Stacey. We build those up sideways, and there we have the edge of the door. That's looking better. Now we can go back to our step 233. Put our door handle in place. Then we can put an extra bit of our door card for the inside on, along with an extra 1x2, and we get one of the doppiers just to make the flat edge across the door handle. And that brings us up to 234. So 235, we're starting now to put kind of the rounded bit on the outside of the door. So for that one, we need one of these weird rounded bits that actually holds on a little bit on the inside. It's a very strange profile, but perfect. And then we finish that off with two of these. So that makes our door. And then just to finish off the top of the inside of the door, we get one of these shiny pieces and put that on there. And we have, hello floor, welcome. You have Playmobil in your Lego box? How did you mix up Playmobil and Lego? My son does that, but it's something I really can't do, mixing up Playmobil and Lego. It's one of my many issues. Floor feels terrible about mixing the two up. You have my sympathy. Just out of curiosity, is the sound okay on this microphone, or is it really weird because I'm talking away from it? It's not one that I use generally when I'm doing streaming. Right, we're now up to 227, and we're about to put the mirrors on the car, and then we're going to be mounting the door actually to the car. It's going to look quite cool. So for this step, what do we need? We need a glass window. We need a corner piece. This is a point where my long weekend is catching up with me because I'm struggling reading these instructions now. We need one of these ingots and we need a shoe. So the mirror goes to the outside. We're going to put the ingot to the back. So, and then this mounts on the side of the door here, with the shoe mounting on top, like so. Then we need to make the inside just a little bit prettier. So we're going to get a 1x2 shiny piece if I don't throw it across the room. And then one of these corner pieces where I desperately hope we really do only need 3. And we're going to try and mount that into there. Cool. We have a mirror on the door. Now, from the looks of it, we've just got a little bit extra to do, and I see that I've mounted a piece wrong as well. Oh, this is going to be fun. I've mounted one piece wrong. This should point to the back here. But I have an idea I have to take off all of this in order to make it work. Let's see, can we pull this off? Always fun when you're rebuilding and then you have to take it apart again. By fun, I mean hideous. So how on earth did this all go back on? That one went on there. That one one above the door handle, and then this mounted across there. Yay! I think we actually have this bit right now. There we go. So that takes us up to 238. And then 239, we need to build the bit that I was just talking about. So we need another 1x4 with a 1x2 on top of it. And we need a roundy bit to make it fit. So we put the 1x2 on the end. We put that in place there. And then that gets mounted on. Yay! And there's our door. And now we get to mount the door to the car. So this goes on top of the white brick that we mounted in the first step, like so. And there we have it. We have our first door that can close. That looks quite cool. And you can see we've got the cutout that goes here. That's for this clip that was in one of the earlier stages, so that there's space for it to close. Cool. That is door number 1. What's the chances we now go to door number 2? How are we doing for time here? About half in. I have an idea. We're not going to get to bag 7 today. I think we're going to have to leave it on bag 6. I am really sorry about that. To quote Flaw, I feel terrible. But unfortunately, that's what it is today. Right then, let's do the second door and see if I can build this one without making too many mistakes. Ha ha. So we need to mount the hinge backwards this time because it's for the other door. Start to build this up again. 2 at the front, or 1 at the front, and I'm guessing 2 at the back. Like so. And then we get a second 2x4 flat plank and push that under here. Yeah, that kind of matches that, doesn't it? Put the large plank on top of it. Put this one underneath so it's flat to the outside. Now you know what, when I do this upright, I'm going to do it right this time. So this one has to go here. And that points outways at the edge of the big plank. And then we get our 2 walls for the door card and put that next to it. Nearly got it wrong. Nearly got it wrong. Almost, but not quite. And now it's kind of just building it up the opposite to the first one. So we're going to do the 2x4, the 1x3, and a 1x2. Building the second one's always easier than building the first one. And that phrase is going to come back and bite me. I'm not going to forget to do this step this time, where we build up the slanted bit. Look at that. I've already made an improvement over the first door. Let's see if we can keep this up. And then we have this half shiny one. It goes on the front there. With our snot, which is going to hold our mirror in a second across the front. Then we need to get our second door hinge. Our last, oh, not last, but one, I've just put it in the wrong place. Another 1x4 plank. And we need our last white corner plank. So we'll start with the door handle on the outside. Build around it. Where have I gone wrong here? I haven't gone wrong here. Yes, I have. I'm missing something again. I have gone wrong. Where did I miss a step? I missed step 250. Now, maybe it's a good job I've only got time for a 1 hour stream today, because I am not building well at all. I'm missing steps left, right, and center. I think it's worth saying that if I went on Lego Masters, I'd leave in the first week. If I went on Lego Masters, I wouldn't even get into the studio. Now we can build up the rest of the door around the door handle. Put the last of our brown strips for the door card in. And then I'm guessing it's time to make the outside look pretty. Here we go. Let's build up the second mirror, which of course has to be opposite to the last mirror. So we need a shoe, we need a corner bit, we need a see-through bit, and we need the last ingot. So the ingot goes on the outside. The glass for the mirror goes on the inside. That goes on the outside of the car so we can see. And then we have the shoe sloping down towards the bottom of the car. Then we put the shiny bits on to make it look finished from the front. With another one of these corner pieces, like so. And now we can build the outside wall up again. So that's taken the second one of these weird shaped ones and sticking it on. Putting another two of these steps in. Finish off the door. Then we should be able to finish off the top bit. You kind of know once you put these bits on whether or not you got the rest right. Because if it all fits together by this point, I think we're on a roll. And then for here, we need to build up the door slam again. So that would be another 1x4, another rounded bit, and another 1x2. So we build that up like so. And that one mounts on the back of the door here. And then we mount this one to the car. Again, mounting it onto that white 1x2 that we mounted earlier. And then try and figure out why this doesn't close. Apparently I have done something wrong. Oh, this is not my day for building, is it? That's really weird. It looks exactly the same as the other side, but it's not. Oh, wow. I see what I've done wrong. I'm going to have to do a lot of rebuilding on this side. I'm going to leave this like this. What I've done, I don't know if you can see it there. There's a brown square and there's a clip. I have got that brown square and that clip the wrong way around, which means the door won't shut properly. I'll fix that, but I'm going to fix that off camera because that's going to involve an amount of demolition getting it to work again. I have a question from Floor. What do I do with Lego that went all yellow? Can I bring back the color somehow? You can do this. I have started to watch an amount of restoration videos because I find them really relaxing, watching people take junk and turn it into something shiny and beautiful. I don't know if it's something that you necessarily want to do at home, but you need to get some hydrogen peroxide and some UV lights, and you put the plastic in the hydrogen peroxide, put the UV lights on top of it, leave it for a couple of days, and it goes from yellow back to white again. I have never tried this. I am never going to try this. But I've seen enough videos where people do it, and it looks amazing when it's done. Suppose you can, of course, just always try and throw it in the washing machine, but I don't think that's going to get rid of the yellow, unfortunately. Right, now we need to build up the front of the car. So, step two, 260 steps already. We need to build two pieces that are going to start to hold on to the, oh, what's that called? My dad would be shaking his head now. The bulkhead at the front of the car that goes between the front and the interior. So we need two plastic triangles. We need two 2x4s. We need a couple of black corner pieces, and we need a couple of 1x2s. So, is that in picture? It's almost in picture. You can see that, can't you? Yeah, it's what I can do, Flo. I'm going to have a look at some of the restoration videos that I've watched. I'm going to try and share a couple that do that with it. I watched one a couple of weeks ago. The guy was restoring a Kenner Millennium Falcon from the late 70s, early 80s. And he did it with it. He just threw all of the plastic into this hydrogen peroxide. UV lights, came out looking like new. If you do decide to give this a go, we need a video of it. So mount these bits. So we go backwards. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we need videos of this because I want to see somebody who isn't on one of these restoration videos in an amazing setting do it. But please, please, please be careful if you do. The thought of playing with hydrogen peroxide, I've got to admit, it does kind of scare me a little bit. It's not necessarily pleasant stuff. So there's a start to our two bulkheads, and let's mount that up now. So this mounts across the middle. Oh, it also gives the door a little bit of stability from the start as well. So we have that bit mounted in here. Oh, that door's really annoying me. That one might get fixed whilst watching TV this evening. Assuming I have time to watch TV this evening. Now we need to build the end of the front up. So we need two small planks. We need two long shiny black planks. We need two shiny short black planks. And then we need both the upside down and the right way up slopey bits to finish building the front of the car. So first of all, let's build the bit that goes across the front of the frunk, building this bit here. And we mount this across the middle. Mount this to the other side. Yeah, that looks quite cool. And that mounts in front of there like so. That covers up that hole nicely. Now we get these upside down ones. Let's move the chassis back to the middle a second. The upside down one comes forward here. I'm guessing that starts to make the wheel arch for the front wheel. And the ones that are the right way up go across the middle behind it. Like so. Now we need to do the tops of the doors. It's nice. I've moved the chassis out of the way so I could read the instructions, and actually we need this chassis straight back again. How are we doing for time? 15 minutes. Definitely only one bag today, I'm afraid. So this goes to the outside here. We mount one on one side. Mount one on the other side. And in theory, we now have doors that open. Yay! It doesn't close, but it opens. I've got a smile. Doors which don't close or open properly. I'm thinking back to my Spitfire. That's constant. But I think a Porsche is supposed to be in a different quality class than a Spitfire. Now we just need to finish off building up the sides of the doors here. So we're building up two things. We know that our last two turny bits or rounded bits, and we need our last, or four of our last six 1x2 slabs. So we need to clip those together like so. And then on each one, we mount a rounded bit. And again. And then we get to finish off the door on top of the hinge. Cool. And that is our doors finished. Now we get to move on to the windscreen, and I have an idea that I need an extra piece for this. I'm going to need the unnumbered bag. So we'll get this one out ready, the windscreen, which I might also clean over the week. So we're going to start off with a 1x2, put a corner piece on the outside, put a long black 1x8 plank across the front, put our last 2x4 on the end, like so, and then add the second corner. So I'm guessing that is going to sit. I think that's going to sit there on the inside. I think that's the start of our dashboard. Let's see if I'm right. Next, we need to get some flat planks to start building it up. So we need two flat planks. We need our last remaining black 1x2. And then we need a couple of these spacers. So we mount the white pieces to the outside. We put the black block in the middle. And we'll put some spacers on the end just to build it up. And yes, mysterious unnumbered bag. Absolutely. It's anytime you have kind of a big set, I don't get why they put it in a mysterious unnumbered bag, but you get a mysterious unnumbered bag, which is just sort of ancillary parts. And as you go through it, just gives you a little bit of extra instruction of, oh, you need this one too that doesn't come from the bag. Interesting one is, it even comes in a different type of bag. It comes in a sort of partially perforated bag. So we have the tires and we have another screen in here for the target top. It's odd. Normally the bags are really sort of clinky, hard plastic. Very strange. But what would life be without a little bit of strangeness? Now we can start on the snot. So we build this one out to the front. And then we put our red hook in the middle. Ah, that's cool. So this red hook is probably going to clip onto the blue bar that's already included in the middle. I'm from for Lego that needs to breathe. Absolutely. You don't want your Lego to go rotten in a sealed bag. It might get discolored. Then we need to build up two side pieces. This is going to be interesting. We need two clips, two spacers, and then we're going to build the two gutters on top of it. One. Ow. Two. Is this a grab handle for the passengers when the driver starts to get a little bit leery? And then this gets mounted onto the front next to the snot. Seriously, I never get bored of saying snot. I'm a little bit childish. Life's fun. Then we need to do these upside down black triangles to fill in the edges, one on each side. And then finish it off with some black planks. So we need our last two hooks. Hooks! I'm speaking Dutch to you. We need our last two corners, which then stick out over the edge. And we put the plank across the middle, like so. Not looking much like a windscreen yet, is it? Then we need some uprights, and they go on the inside next to the hook, like so. And now we have some more snot. 1, 2, with a couple of spacers. That goes on the outside of these sideways bits, like so. And the spacers come on top of these upside down triangles. And then we can actually mount the screen on front. Ta-da! If only all windscreens were this easy to mount. Now we get to build the dash on the inside. And for that one, we get a black plank. We got our 3 brown triangles. There's the passenger's dashboard in front of them. And then we get our 4 shoes across the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then our dials, or at least some of our dials. Now, let's see. I need to get this one a little bit right. Where should the needle go? The needle should be pointing just off center. So, and for some reason, both needles are the same. I'm guessing one is the water temperature, one is the fuel gauge. But if they're both supposed to be the same place, I'm going to put them both in the same place. Yeah, I think that will do. So there's our dashboard. Let's mount that on the inside of our windscreen now, like so. Cool, our driver's going to be able to see soon. Now we can put on some bits to finish off the top of the windscreen. So we're going to go for a strip across the top, and then 2 strips next to it, make the edge of our roof. And now we're going to build up a couple of pieces of snot. So here we have our curvy pieces, our last 2 shiny pieces. Getting close. Helps if you put it in the right place again. Lego, the thing you do if you never want to grow your nails. Mount those up there. And then these mount on the outside. So. And there's our windscreen on the front and back. And do we do more, or is this now mounted? No, we need to do just a little bit more. Where do our shoes go? So we're going to mount our Okay, I was going to mount the shoes first and then put the black bit across, but we'll follow the instructions. We need to get 6 shoes. Mount them inside of here. 4, 5, 6. Then we need to try and get them square. And these get mounted like so. And now it gets mounted. Nice, this is in 2 steps. Get the chassis back. So we mount it first here. What's the chances? The next page says tip it backwards. And we have another little tidbit of information in the booklet here again. The Porsche 911 is only manufactured in the company's factory at the OMG, I apologize to anybody German listening, Stuttgart Zuffenhausen in Germany. And it has to go click. I love it when they give you that instruction. Let's roll this back just a little bit and let's see whether or not you can hear this one. That was a fairly satisfying click. And that is it for bag 6. So we've finished building the 2 doors. We've added the windscreen. We can see the dashboard nicely from the driver's position. I've just got a little bit of rebuilding to do on this side to try and make sure that I can put that in place. Now what? I said I'd got until 2 o'clock today. Let's see if we can, in the next 8 minutes, finish this bit here so that the door can close before I go off air. How much of this can I take off in one go? Ooh, no. Come on. You can do it. Is it really going to be that easy? Right, except for the fact that I can't get this apart and the Lego bit is downstairs. Those Lego tools are fantastic and I should keep it with me. So that needs to mount underneath. Let's try and get this so you can see it. That needs to come back into here. And this comes back into here. We'll push this one down so it's in place. The white bit comes up to the edge. Let's push that one down into place. Oh, look at that. I was expecting that to be so much more complex. And we now have 2 doors that close. That is awesome. And the interior is looking really quite cool now. We still have our little steering wheel that works. We have a handbrake that works. As long as it's a sequential gearbox, we have a gear stick that works in there too. I think that is wonderful for a day's worth of building. So I don't know if I'm going to do an extra stream during the week if I have time to do bag 7 so that next time we stream we can go straight on to bag 8. I think it's bags 8 and 9 is for the Targa, bags 9 and 10 is for the Turbo, or the other way around. And the results of the Twitter poll were, you want to see the Targa top built, so that's the one that I'm doing. I am also going to do the guest stream that we talked about last week with Martin, so that we can build up both the Targa and the Turbo at the same time. And we're kind of just going to flip between the 2 builds as we do a few of the pages so that we can see both of them built up at the same time and see how we can get that working. For next week, I might not be streaming because I was reminded this morning that it's Easter Sunday next week. And I think it may be expected that I don't do this on Easter Sunday. But we'll find out. I'll let you know on Twitter whether or not it's going to be here. And it might be Lego building. It might be that next week I do my first live coding session. It's we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm ashamed. I'm afraid so. It's we'll see. We'll see. It's either going to happen or not. I mean, for the live coding, let me switch back to my main camera here. Hello. For the live coding, what I really want to try and do, I've been racking my brains. What can I do to try and think about some cool stuff? And I want to make a place where I can collect recipes and I can build up a week's menu without having to think because I am useless at trying to think, what am I going to be cooking all week? We know our shopping online, you have to order a week at a time, and it's always, well, we either just eat the same things week after week because we don't have to think about it, or we just stress about it and it's not fun. So what I want to do is build up a site where I can put in recipes that I've made, alternatively link to recipes from other sites, and just put in a little bit of information like how much I like it, how much time it takes, so that once a week I can just hit a button and say, hey, give me a menu. I want 5 days worth of quick food for after work and 2 days work and maybe spend a bit of time with it building it on the weekend. So that is what I'm going to try and build, which it should be fun. It's I'm going to be building it using client-side Blazor, Azure Functions, and I'm either going to use Cosmos DB or I'm going to use Azure Storage Tables. Cosmos DB will be fun because I've never played with that before, so that will be an interesting one to start with. I'm also going to be doing authentication so that I can edit the list of menus that I want, which is also going to be fun because I've not played with authentication yet in Blazor. So that's going to be a learning process on the fly, which is kind of why I've been putting this off, because I'm about to show you all of the stuff that I don't know. And I think the other thing that's really important to say about this, I was following a thread on Twitter recently. Somebody was trying to launch a website where you could rip recipes and put it into their own application so that you didn't have to go through a blog post before you reached a recipe. And a lot of people quite rightly complained about this because they use their blog for their livelihood. And if you rip the recipe out of it, then it means that you're also kind of ripping their income because they don't get the clicks to their pages. So I need to build it in such a way that I can add my own recipes that I've come up with, and any external recipes that I want to link to is going to have to be exactly that, just an external recipe that I can link to, along with a little bit of metadata so that the menu system can actually do its thing, like how long it really took you to cook and how much you liked it, all that kind of stuff. The difficulty rating. Sometimes you just want a really easy 5-minute thing to cook. And other times you just want to do something really cool and interesting that takes an age, but you're really happy with the result of it. So we're seeing that's got to come. I imagine that the first live coding session is just going to be making the GitHub repo, getting it live, and then maybe having a think about an interface or whatever. But we'll see when we come to it. And we'll see whether or not that happens next Sunday or whether or not that happens some point in the future. But it is going to come. And we have a comment from Chap.io, still on his to-do list. It's, a feature that you miss in existing software. Come on, I've clicked on it. I'd like to see previous version of a recipe. Oh, I love that idea. So that you can just keep on tweaking it as you go along and be able to see what you've changed time after time. I think that's going to be on the list of things to do in the future. But if you want to help me build this, I am so game with trying this one. It's going to be awesome. And we have Simmer. Hey, Simmer. I'm really sorry, but I'm just about to end for the day. I've got to cut it short because it's I have a really busy afternoon, unfortunately. And I think on that note, it's 2:00. I need to get gone, I'm afraid. So I'm going to call it a day now. A shameless plug here for anybody that's interested. Mark Dowker has an amazing Azure Functions University. And tonight at 8 o'clock, we are going to be going through Azure functions and configuration. I'll put a tweet out for that one, linking to it so that you can find it there. If you really want to see what we've built simming, and this is going to be going up on YouTube later on this afternoon. And if not, let's give you a short preview. Let's go back to the desk cam. Ta-da! We have doors on our Porsche, and we have a windscreen on our Porsche. That's the things that we're building this week. On that note, I wish you all a very good Sunday afternoon. I hope you have a good one. And until next time, bye-bye.